XM Rum, Stovetop, Fireside Suites, 94.1 Boom FM, HJTV, Rock Auto Trends and Spare Parts, and Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports. Emancipation Juve is powered by Marvelous Entertainment and GD Events. Let's go.
Yeah, blasted, disgusting children get inside.
So what about the children in the yard?
Not me. I ain't getting involved. I don't want my name calling people's story.
You rather know those children get abused before you do something to stop it or prevent.
That is not my concern. I just feel like I see nothing, hear nothing. I am not getting involved.
Ring the Child Care and Protection Hotline. Them people know how to deal with it. You don't have to give them your name.
Call the Child Care and Protection Agency hotline on 227-0979. Children need adults to protect them. Don't let them down.
Looking for quality furniture at great prices? Check J&J Classic Furniture Store, located at 301 LBI Railway Embankment, East Coast, Demerara. Call 220-6783 or 628-9016. In stock chair sets, wardrobes, chest of drawers, suites, dining sets, TV stands, china cabinets, vanities, and beds. It's J&J Classic Furniture Store. Call 220-6783 or 628-9016.
Compelling design starts with familiar elements that captivates the eyes with a fresh perspective. Most of us long for the ability to choose our surroundings. At Andy Enamored Furniture Store, we believe that your paradise should be easy as walking through your own front door. With our great line of home furnishings for you to choose from, with sofas starting from $50,000, we also custom built to suit your specifications. So come visit with us and make your choice. We also sell MDF, white pine wood and white pine plywood. Andy Enamored Furniture Store located at 7B Good Hope Public Road, East Coast, Demerara. Telephone 503-8001 or 658-4785. Layaway and financing available. Come see us first.
आया रमज़ान रहमत वाला तेरी इनायत या अल्लाह माहे रमज़ान की हम रहमत पाएंगे रोज़ा रखने की ताकत दे हिम्मत हमको या अल्लाह सजदे में हम अपने सर को झुकाएंगे.
Hey, Stumpy, y'all don't feel y'all don't go away when y'all don't eat food, you know. Y'all got fair wash your place because I did my nails. When is somebody about there gonna make a nice cake? Is my good cake gonna put the same?
Bladam, I got a call from the people in the community and they said you are disturbing the peace. You're smelling up the place and you're doing something, but your food always seems to smell good.
Peppies, you get the best on these things.
These things just make you cook good. I want these things and I'll carry them for evidence.
I love all of you.
Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
And you.
On August 1st, 1834, Africans won their freedom. This August 1st, it's a celebration in a national park as the African Cultural and Development Association ACDA hosts Emancipation Festival 30, featuring spectacular local performances, Grammy Award-winning international acts, African food, clothes, games, cultural displays, information booths, music, and much more. Come celebrate African resilience, innovation, and culture in the energy of Ubuntu. Harambe, we all go together.
stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Systems in place to tackle possible monkeypox outbreak. Dr. Frank Anthony, opposition leader against importing nurses from Cuba, calls on government to offer better pay to local nurses. Prominent attorney at law calls for more judges following appointment of Judicial Service Commission, and Ipadaji accuses government of continuous propaganda campaign against organization. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Aletha Grant with the Monday, 17th July 2023 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. The International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly Guyana has accused the Ali-led administration of launching another propaganda campaign against the organization. Shamar Allen brings us more in this report.
The chairman of the International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly Guyana Ipadaji, Vincent Alexander, has called out the government for allegedly launching a propaganda campaign against the organization, in addition to withholding its subvention. According to Alexander, the first campaign was at a United Nations meeting on issues relating to people of African descent.
The government of Guyana opted to send the Minister of Tourism and 2 members of the Ethnic Relations Commission, an entity that should be independent arbiters of ethnic relations. The government of Guyana has never fulfilled its obligation to implement the program for the decade, and consequently has never reported as the UN requires. Rather, it used its first appearance to attempt to debunk reports submitted to the UN by the G.
Another campaign the organization has accused the government of is the hiring of Joel Bagwandin under the business Sarex Professional Services, Inc. to conduct a critical review of Ipadaji's strategic plan. According to Alexander, Bagwandin is known for defending government policies and actions in the columns of the dailies.
Given his pre-existing relationship and documented full-throated support for this government, one is left to wonder about the objectivity of this review, especially under the circumstances of a government's vicious attack and clear determination to destroy Ipadaji.
In fact, the chairman defended the organization, noting that it has an unassailable reputation for accountability and transparency. He noted that this is evident in Ipadaji's annual audits and the government's special investigative audit for 2018 and 2021.
Bagwandin incorrectly stated that the government of Guyana disbursed funding directly to Ipadaji member organizations instead of Ipadaji. As of to date, no member organization has advised of the receipt of funds.
In response to Ipadaji's contention, Bagwandin noted that his report on the organization's strategic plan was intended to be constructive. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Shamar Allen.
Guyana is actively monitoring the monkeypox outbreak in neighboring Trinidad and Tobago and has systems in place to mitigate its effects should it make its way to local shores. That's the word out from Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony on Monday, as he updated Nightly News on Guyana's planned response to the number of emerging global health threats. More details in this report.
Neighboring Trinidad and Tobago recently reported 2 confirmed cases of monkeypox, actively forcing Shadow Health Minister Dr. Karen Cummins to call on local Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony to be proactive in devising an effective and efficient response to mitigate the effects of the disease should it make its way into Guyana. Noting the proximity and frequency of interaction between Guyana and Trinidad, Dr. Cummins said the threat of the disease migrating to local shores is very high. However, according to Dr. Anthony, his ministry already has systems in place should the threat become a reality.
We have systems in place. So we have the testing capability, we have a response team. So if, let's say, there's a suspicion, because what we do, we write out what are the things that doctors must look for. And that has been sent to all our physicians.
The local health sector has the expertise to manage the virus and has activated systems to ensure that anyone displaying symptoms can be managed, Dr. Anthony assured, adding that surveillance has been activated at the country's ports of entry.
Every one of the airports and these ports, we have a team that is there monitoring. And if there's any suspicion, then they will be able to alert the system. And we take precautions.
Last week, Jamaica confirmed that some of the island's major hospitals are being flooded with patients with respiratory illnesses, including COVID-19. That country's health minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, admitted that the island is experiencing a surge in COVID-19 cases and advised that mask wearing resume in some sections of the island. Dr. Anthony told this newscast that the situation is being closely monitored by his ministry and called on all citizens, especially the elderly and those suffering from comorbidities, to continue to adhere to the COVID-19 prevention protocols and guidelines.
We have been monitoring. We continue to have our COVID team monitor. We continue to collect data pertaining to cases. And occasionally we do have a few persons who come into a hospital. We need persons to take precautions. So if you're older, one of the ways that you can take precaution is that you should get your booster doses. We have those doses available to people, and I would encourage those persons who are vulnerable, especially older people.
While Dr. Anthony did not confirm or deny whether Ghana has seen an increase in COVID-19 cases, this newscast was able to ascertain that there has been a slight uptake in persons testing positive for the virus. The Ministry of Health has failed to disseminate a COVID-19 dashboard since June 30th. Renata Burnett, reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Prisoner who took matters into his own hands to prevent mosquitoes from biting him almost burned down the Brickdam police station on Saturday. Stephen Howard has admitted that he lit a piece of paper in a cell at the station to ward off mosquitoes, in the process setting a mattress on fire. Tiana Cole has more details.
The inmate, 22-year-old Stephen Howard, a vendor who was arrested in relation to armed robbery, is now being investigated for setting fire to a mattress while in custody at a Brickdam police station. According to reports, the prisoner, when questioned, related that he discovered a lighter and a piece of toilet paper inside the cell. And due to mosquitoes biting him, he lit the paper and placed the same on the cell door. However, about 10 minutes later, he realized that the toilet tissue had fallen on the mattress on the floor of the cell and ignited into flames, which he then successfully extinguished by throwing water from a plastic bottle he had in his possession. Police said that during an interview with Howard on the incident, the man loudly informed the lawman that, quote-unquote, police should do what they had to do since he had nothing more to say, end of quote. An entry was then made into the station diary to this effect. At the time of the incident, 6 other prisoners were in custody at the lockups. In October 2021, the Brickdam police station was completely destroyed by a fire, allegedly set by a prisoner in the lockups. Meanwhile, in a separate incident, 38-year-old Terry Prasad Lal of Paradise Essequibo Coast, a father of 2, perished on Sunday evening after allegedly setting himself on fire in his home. Lal lived alone in a one-flat concrete house after being estranged from his wife for the last 2 years. Relatives related that the man came home highly intoxicated on Sunday evening, and moments later they heard him screaming and saw the house on fire. Quick action by the fire department saved half of the house from total destruction, but upon checking through the debris, firemen discovered burnt human remains suspected to be Lal's. Tiana Co reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
In wake of the Madhya dormitory fire, which claimed 20 lives on May 21st, 2023, the government has begun the distribution of financial assistance to those families who continue to cope with and recover from this tragedy. The Attorney General's Chambers and Ministry of Legal Affairs, in a press statement on Monday, said that the affected family members requested cash which they could use to make purchases that would enhance their ability to continuously provide for their families. Given that public monies are being expended and recognizing that these expenditures will have to be transparently accounted for, written agreements have been established which all the families have so far signed. A full report of all monies expended in respect to this tragedy will be made public in due course, the release stated. Nightly News understands that the financial assistance is $5 million per child as settlement. More news after this break. Stay with us.
We at SNL Electrical Agency believe that a good design begins with a great lighting plan. From ambiance lighting to statement chandeliers. Trendy LED fixtures, we've got it all. Layering your homes with lights is the key to creating spaces that welcome, comfort, and inspire. SNL Electrical Agency, importers and distributors of all electrical lamps, solar lights, cables, circuit breaker panels, AC units, and so much more. SNL Electrical Agency, 179 to 180 Thomas Street, Kitty. Telephone 226-3018, 223-1634.
You don't leave anything to chance. Every day you click it, lock it, and mask up. Now press, rub, and wash with Sterling Super Soap. Our antibacterial formula eliminates 99.9% of all germs and bacteria. Clean and moisturize your hands with 4 refreshing and rejuvenating fragrances. Get super clean with Sterling Super Soap.
Optic offers great patient care that is tailored for my entire family.
At Optic, a wide selection of affordable optical frames and optical services are available to fit your budget.
At Optic, my family is provided with comprehensive eye examination and access to the ophthalmology services, all under one roof.
Optic takes pride in delivering exceptional customer service and a unique experience to you, our customers.
Optic Vision Care is a company that is Guyanese born and grown that will help you take care of your precious eyes.
Devon chocolate digestive, rich chocolate with cookie crunch. Devon chocolate digestive, taste the cookie with chocolate sweetness.
Cookie beats chocolate in Devon Chocolate Digestive. Better because it's both.
Krishna Roth Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Roth Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Welcome back. You with the HGP Nightly News. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton on Monday told the Nightly News that the government should not be importing nurses. Instead, he recommended that the government provide increased benefits to local healthcare workers. Shamar Allen has the details.
President Irfan Ali, at a recent press conference, disclosed that there is a shortage of nurses. The head of state said that the government would be importing nurses from Cuba to aid the situation. But opposition leader Aubrey Norton is not in support of this move. He believes that if nurses are paid better as well as have good benefits, they will remain in Guyana.
First of all, that we shouldn't be importing nurses. If we pay nurses properly in Guyana, they will stay in Guyana if we give them the benefits that they should have. They will stay in Guyana. I don't think it is people's desire just to migrate, but the government seems not to be interested in developing our human resources.
In fact, the opposition leader said the government needs to look at remuneration package and benefits for public servants at large.
I think there's need for proper training of nurses, increase the amount. Look at the salaries, not only of the nurses, the police, the teachers, the public servants, and create the conditions that will make Guyanese want to stay here.
In May, the Ministry of Health rolled out a registered nursing program aimed at training 1,000 people annually. Last year, President Ali announced an increase in salary for healthcare workers, including nurses. But many criticized the amount, noting that it is not commensurate with the rising cost of living and inflation. Reporter for HGP Nightly News, Shamar Ali.
Now that the Judicial Service Commission has finally been reconstituted, Attorney-at-Law Timothy Jonas is adamant that the attention must be paid towards increasing the amount of judges at both the Supreme and Appeals Court. Antonio Day tells us why.
We have reached a situation where when we have a statutory complement of 20 judges, we got 9 overworked beasts of burden sitting down trying to do the job. And in reality, Guyana probably needs 30 judges. Now, it's one thing to sit down and say we don't want delay and we don't want to wait a long time for a judgment. But if you got 9 judges doing the work of 30, you will have delays because they could work 24 hours a day. They could work nighttime and daytime. They cannot meet the backlog.
The Attorney-at-Law reasoned that the statutory complement of judges should increase by 30 in order for justice to be granted effectively and expeditiously in wake of mounting and unresolved cases. Back in April 2023, the Court of Appeal Amendment Bill of 2022 was passed in the National Assembly to improve the efficiency of court proceedings. It amends Section 34(1) of the Court of Appeal Act, Chapter 301, which presently provides that the judges of the Court of Appeal shall include no more than 5 justices. It is aimed at increasing the number of appellate court judges to at least 9. Currently, there are only 3 permanent appellate judges. Similarly, provisions were made for the introduction of new civil procedures, rules, and an increase in the complement of high court judges from 12 to 20. The newly constituted Judicial Service Commission paves the way for this to materialize, Jonas noted.
I think as a matter of urgency, the Judicial Service Commission has to appoint 10 judges. I really hope they can find them, and I think that it is also important to agitate to increase the statutory quorum so that we have more than 20 sitting judges in Guyana statutorily.
Chancellor of the Judiciary Acting, Yannick Cummins Edwards, Chief Justice Acting Roxanne George, Public Service Commission Chairman PSC Manuram Prashad, and former Chancellor Justice Kara Singh are among the newly appointed GSC members. Jonas is adamant that the body should act independently and not be open to political control.
Let the judges fill vacancies in the judiciary. So give the judges the power by majority decision of the judges that if they know they need 9, they invite applicants and they by majority decision appoint the 9. Leave the politicians out of it completely. If you take it away from the politicians completely that way, and you allow those same judges by majority to decide who they want to be their chancellor and who they want to be their chief justice, by majority decision among the judges. The problem with that is it decentralizes power too much away from the green and the red shirts.
In swearing of the commission on Friday, Head of State Irfan Ali said that the independence of the Judicial Service Commission is fundamental in any democratic society. He said his government respects this principle.
If the judiciary is not independent of the executive or legislative arms, justice and fairness will become victims of partisan, political, personal, and other biases. This can impair the rule of law, erode citizens' rights, and imperil public trust.
Antonia Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
After serving close to 7 years on remand, a West Coast Demerara man was on Monday morning released on time served for killing a tractor operator back in 2016. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
43-year-old Solomon George of Murphy Street, Good Intent, West Bank, Demerara, was initially indicted for the capital offense over the death of Arnold Ratton, a tractor operator who was fatally stabbed in 2016 at a wedding celebration at Sisters Village, West Bank, Demerara. Last month, he pleaded guilty to the lesser offense of manslaughter. He admitted that he unlawfully killed 47-year-old Ratton at Long Pond Road, Sisters Village, West Bank, Demerara. The trial was conducted before Justice Priya Sunarayan Biari at the Demerara High Court. In arriving at an appropriate sentence for George, Justice Biari started at a base of 15 years, from which he deducted 1/3 for his early guilty plea. Further time was deducted for his pre-trial custody. In the end, the judge sentenced George to time spent on remand, which means he'll be released from prison. Throughout the trial, George was represented by attorney-at-law Tariq Mohammed. According to reports, on August 8, 2016, at around 23:30 hours, an intoxicated George had gone to the wedding house where he met Ratton at the gate and they began to argue. The court heard that as the disagreement intensified, George stabbed Ratton once in his chest. The injured man was rushed to the West Demerara Regional Hospital, where he died while receiving treatment. Following the altercation, George was apprehended by public-spirited citizens and turned over to the police. Tiana Ko reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
More news on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Cleanup, we can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
The Quarantine Highway from Palmyra to Crabwood Creek Region 6 is being upgraded and widened to improve the lives of thousands of Guyanese. Some $27.7 billion is going towards the widening of the structures along the carriageway to accommodate a 4-lane highway and to relocate utilities. Oil revenues are being channeled into Ghana's development and is benefiting infrastructural projects such as these.
You with the HGP Nightly News, welcome back. As we continue with the news, police are investigating the alleged murder of Yoel Valenzuela, a 40-year-old laborer of Timeri, East Bank, Demerara, by 3 suspects. Reports are that Valenzuela, his 17-year-old son, and other relatives were at the Ragu Sports Bar at Soosdijk imbibing alcohol when one of the suspects approached Valenzuela and an argument ensued, causing him to push and cuff the suspect into his mouth. The following morning, Valenzuela's lifeless body was discovered at the Soosdijk Junction with a wound above the left ear and another on his back. One suspect is in police custody and others are being sought. How could Guyana be deemed the world's second fastest growing economy when most of its citizens are living in poverty? This question was posed by opposition leader Aubrey Norton at a Partnership for National Unity's public meeting on Sunday at the Stabroek Market Square. Antonio Day reports.
Is it not interesting that we are boasting that we are the fastest growing economy in the world, and poverty increasing faster? The level of poverty in this country is too high.
The World Bank in 2022 found that Guyana's national poverty rate at around 48% was among the highest in Latin America and the Caribbean. According to the International Monetary Fund's World Economic Outlook for 2023, Guyana's projected real gross domestic product (GDP) growth is 37.2%. In 2022, that figure stood at 62.3%. Guyana's crude oil exports this year is expected to generate $11 billion, a 14% increase from the 2022 figure, which is $9.9 billion. These revenues are expected to come from oil production at the Stabroek block, from the Liza field and Pryor fields by year-end. Norton flagged the government for not effectively tackling the high living costs. He posited that the administration did not take into perspective some public servants who have not seen salary increases in a while.
The cost of living is too high, and there are measures that they can take to reduce the cost of living. And I'm saying to you, we have the resources in this country at present to ensure our people get a better life.
Recently, Financial Analyst Director at the Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis, IEFA, Tom Sanselo, had accused the government of misspending the country's oil revenues on capital projects.
And they've been spending it so far on capital expenditures, and that is not going to support the kind of economic development in poorer communities that you want.
Economist Elson Lowe recently opined that despite Guyana's nascent oil and gas sector, many citizens are still living in abject poverty. This reflects incompetence and poor governance, he posited.
Competent governance must be a core element of any quote-unquote right path to development. You can accomplish some form of development by way of incompetence, but I submit that that cannot reasonably be the right path to development.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Some 216 new health services will soon be available for Guyanese to access at health centers across the country. This announcement was made by Dr. Frank Anthony, Health Minister, on Monday morning when regional health officers converged for their annual conference. Renata Burnett filed that report.
The Regional Health Officers Conference is a forum that brings together the leadership of the regional health sectors with the aim of strengthening the capacities and fostering coordination among key stakeholders to enhance the delivery of healthcare services countrywide. Subject Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, in his address, signaled his intention to improve and expand the delivery of primary health care services throughout the country with support from the Pan American Health Organization.
We have come up with approximately 216 interventions that can be offered at every one of these health posts and health centers. And so this is something that we expect that our RHO would be able to take on board.
Dr. Anthony acknowledged the need for the requisite support mechanisms such as infrastructure, tools and personnel to be implemented to ensure the smooth rollout of the new interventions.
We would like each one of the RHOs in the different regions to examine the system in that context to see how many more people we need, the types of persons we'll need, and of course the infrastructure deficit.
Telemedicine, which enables video or phone appointments between a patient and their health care practitioner, is being proffered as one modality of improving the quality of health care offered in remote hinterland areas.
Now we have at least 4 telemedicine hubs in Regions 1. We have in Regions 8 4 sites. We have in Region 9, and we are going to be adding some sites in Region 7.
According to the minister, by the end of July, approximately 19 telemedicine sites will be operational. These sites will be connected to the regional hospital in the respective administrative regions and the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. Renata Burnett reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news up next.
On August 1st, 1834, Africans won their freedom. This August 1st, it's a celebration in the national park as the African Cultural and Development Association ACDA hosts Emancipation Festival 30, featuring spectacular local performances, Grammy Award-winning international acts, African food, clothes, games, cultural displays, information booths, music, and much more. Come celebrate African resilience, innovation, and culture in the energy of Ubuntu. Harambe, we all hold together.
Who knows if they actually need the roads that are being built.
Farfan and Mendez Group of Companies are committed to promoting development through quality service and integrity. We offer our customers genuine products, reliability, and excellence in service. Our corporate head office at Providence affords you the added convenience of a spacious showroom with secured parking. At Farfan and Mendez, we continue to offer our customers a wide range of genuine and affordable German-engineered equipment. We also offer clean, green, alternative energy solutions with our industry-leading brands of solar equipment. So, visit our new showroom at Providence and enjoy the service of our efficient and courteous staff. Farfan and Mendez, offering you solutions you can depend on.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. We start with news from St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis is planning to crack down on human traffickers who either smuggle people illegally into the country or use it as its transshipment point to facilitate the trade. Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs Garth Wilkin said at a recent Prime Minister's news conference that legislation has been created to deal with the pressing issue. Quote unquote, "We are trying to deal with the smuggling of persons into the Federation. We have created a standalone anti-smuggling bill and amendments to the Immigration Act and Transnational Crimes Act to address this issue, which is becoming heightened and a more frequent national security matter," he said. St. Kitts and Nevis recently had to deal with a situation where a migrant boat which left Antigua and Barbuda with 30 Cameroonians on board sank in its territorial waters. 16 of the West Africans died at sea. We now look at news from Venezuela. A Kenyan court has sentenced a former top Venezuelan diplomat to 20 years in jail over the 2012 murder of Latin American nation's acting ambassador at her home in an upmarket Nairobi neighborhood. Dwight Sangare, who was the first secretary at the embassy, was convicted along with 3 Kenyan nationals in January for the killing of Olga Fonseca. Judge Rosalind Correa sentenced all 4 men to 20 years in jail. Sangare could be tried for the murder because he was stripped of diplomatic immunity following the crime, the court ruled. Fonseca was found strangled in a bedroom less than 2 weeks into her posting to Nairobi. Sangare, who had been heading the mission before the arrival of Fonseca, was angered by her presence, as he wanted to continue overseeing the embassy, the court found. The global community is being urged to take immediate action to slow the effects of climate change, which evidence shows has over several years resulted in development of significant catastrophic events across the world. These consequences of climate change are especially concerning to the more vulnerable regions, such as the Caribbean, as its impact continues to worsen. Every year, the Caribbean is exposed to potentially life-threatening weather phenomena like heat wave, drought, and earthquakes. Not to mention during the Atlantic hurricane season, June 1 to November 30, when the region begins to experience extreme weather conditions, including tropical storms, tropical depressions, and hurricanes that leads to landslides, flooding, and loss of lives and property. More recently, on July 4, the Earth's temperature unofficially spiked to a record-breaking high, making it the hottest day experienced in decades. The globe's average temperature reached 62.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you for watching. I'm Tiana Cole.
Systems in place to tackle possible monkeypox outbreak, Dr. Frank Anthony, opposition leader against importing nurses from Cuba, calls on government to offer better pay to local nurses. Prominent attorney at law calls for more judges following appointment of Judicial Service Commission, and EPADG accuses government of continuous propaganda campaign against the organization. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Aletha Grant. Thanks for watching.